A soulmate usually comes once in your life to shake things up, show you true love, and stand up to you in ways no one ever has. They adore you, yet challenge you to your fullest potential. A soulmate isn't always peaches and cream. It's ground beef and nacho cheese. I cannot remember exactly the first time your soul touched mine, but I know you've woke it, and it's never slept since. You are the love that came without warning. You had my heart and my arteries before I could say no. My life didn't always revolve around her. In fact, I probably wouldn't have met her if it weren't for my parents. I was always taught to do things myself ever since I could walk. Cleaning, sanitizing, laundry, and cooking. I hated all of them, and to some degree I still do, except for cooking and food. My mom and dad at a very young age gave me the ability to try new things and how to find the perfect food for me. I was taught to respect food, experience all you can with it, treat it with kindness, love it unconditionally, and to find the food that does me the same. Unfortunately, Taco Bell was not my first love. There were others, great ones too, but nothing worked out quite as well as my love for Taco Bell. Cheese was my first love. She had such a rich personality, full of life, and cultured to where she always had something to say. She had so many nicknames that I called her on a daily basis. Cheddar, Fontina, Gouda, Havarti, and my personal favorite, Manchego. She hated it when I called her Blue, and to be honest, it wasn't my favorite either. Our best times together was when she was as sharp as a nail on top of a meaty, juicy burger. Although I thought we were perfect together, she never agreed with me or my family when we hung out too long, so we had to go our separate ways. Pizza was my next partner in crime. She always had on the hottest accessories: pepperoni, olives, tomatoes, even anchovies if she was feeling daring. You name it, she could flaunt it. My favorite outfit on her will always be pineapple, bacon, grilled chicken, and artichokes. Alas, I left her because she hung out with cheese all the time and she was everyone's favorite, if you know what I mean. Mashed potatoes and gravy was my third love. As great as she was, the long distance was hard as I only saw her on holidays. Chicken tenders was my next after Mrs. Mashed Potatoes. Once again, great gal, but she was incredibly emotional. One day, she'd be crispy, light, and juicy. The next, she'd be hard, cold, and fake. With all the heartbreak, I thought it was me for the longest time, so I switched it up and experimented with dessert. He was dreamy, to say the least. Ice cream and I hung out a couple times, but he was always so cold to me, and whenever things got heated, he'd melt under the pressure. I had almost given up and went back to pizza. I had even tried online food dating, like Pinterest and food porn. Yes, this is an appropriate site that has no sexual content. But after high school, life changed, and so did my relationship with food in general, as I had grown even more of a respect for food and myself, being that I have worked in food for 4 years up to this point. Finally, my soulmate would come through in a way that I had never imagined before, and it was all thanks to my best friend. My best friend John and I have had many of the same interests, especially in food. We've double dated with many of the finest honeys you could ever imagine. Vanilla wafers, pizza. Don't ask how that went. Skittles, Doritos, which we still hang from time to time. The one consistency that we always agreed on was tacos. After high school, John and I took up airsofting. For almost 3 years, we would go every Sunday in the early morning to prepare for the skirmishes against the most elite 11 to 45-year-olds airsofters, and we knew we need something to eat to have optimal battle energy. The closest hotspots around were a Subway, a bar, and a Taco Bell. Being we weren't old enough to drink, and Subway food is like a Monday morning, dull, lifeless, and the last thing you look forward to after a great Sunday weekender, the only real option was Taco Bell. John said, "Let's do it. I'm dying for a taco, man." I was hesitant as I heard rumors of Taco Bell being unpleasant to the digestion process afterwards, but I trusted my best friend. As I entered her world, time and all physical aspects of the world ceased to move. The digital screens presented an overabundance of combinations of meats and sauces that instantly enticed my curiosity. I wanted her, and she wanted me back. "Let's go on an adventure," I said. "Where to?" she asked. "Everywhere." And so it began. Payson, Flagstaff, Tucson, Mexico, Vegas, California, and the rest of the world later to come. She provided everything I've ever wanted in a food. She's always had my back, at least until 11 p.m. on weekdays, midnight or later on Friday through Sunday, and 24 hours at the Tempe location on Apache and Rural. She comforted me when life's stresses came down too hard, and she picked me up with her warm, high caloric embrace. When finances were low, I'd pay her a small amount of green, and she gave me gold. She worked so hard to make others happy. Unlike cheese, my friends and family love her for all she is. Taco Bell is the daughter my parents never had, and my friends are always wanting to see her when we hang out. Taco Bell had just as much accessories, if not more, than pizza. She never minded if my homegirl Hot Sauce came over to our house, as their friendship was fire. Some would say Diablo. There would never be long distance like mashed potatoes and I had, and was always emotionally consistent compared to chicken tenders. For 3 very short years, up until June of 2016, we were inseparable. I had Taco Bell on speed dial through the Taco Bell app so I could see her quicker. I bought shirts about her. I even waited 2 hours for her when she wanted to try breakfast because she was running late for our date. We worked out perfectly because we understood each other. We communicated clearly to each other, and she always kept things interesting. From her crunchy Doritos nacho cheese cheesy gordita crunch, down to her XXL grilled stuffed burrito, all the way down to her creamy orange vanilla float freeze. I was constantly learning about her on a daily basis. The only problem was, I was learning about her on a daily basis. I was addicted to her. Some would call it clingy, and they may be right. Sometimes 3 to 4 times a week. For as much as I worked, I couldn't keep up with the cost of going out with her at that rate. My active lifestyle ceased to exist and my health and weight suffered. I became lethargic, and I wondered if it was even worth it. Our love was almost bittersweet. We were happy for each other, but it was affecting my overall health and well-being. I had one of the hardest choices to make. They say when confronted with the challenge, the committed heart looks for a solution, while the undecided heart looks for an escape. I had found a solution. Giving up on her was never the option. We chose to develop ourselves individually as food and person. I would work on other aspects of my life that I loved, like physical activity, school, friends and family, and etc. And she would work on developing her menu and different entrees she would offer, like her breakfast menu, or getting her alcohol license, which she had just obtained recently. We see each other from time to time, and every time we do, it's as if we never left. The laughs, the tears, they're still there, and so is my admiration and respect for all Taco Bell has done for me and my family. As I look back on my life, I realize every time I thought I was being rejected, I was actually being redirected to something better. Taco Bell being the better. Our paths may not intersect every day as previously planned, but one thing is for certain, we will never stray away from each other completely, as our love runs deep like the mild sauce running through my veins as I speak.